Arigato gozaimasu. My name is Brandon, and this is definitely not Brandon's dojo. This is outside. So there's a reason for that, because today we're going to be discussing the importance of ninjitsu safety whenever it comes to things like weapons, or whether it comes to things like the outdoors and doing karate. You know, you got to remember that you have to be safe. Absolutely, first and foremost, no matter what, regardless of the situation. Safety is first, safety is paramount. Now, when we're saying karate and we're saying ninjitsu and things, we're not discussing in the terms of self-defense. We're instead discussing the terms of more like recreational. That's in sport, when in relaxation, to better yourself, that sort of thing. If you're looking for a tutorial or a situation on active defense, I can suggest you other videos from other YouTubers, but this is not it. Okay, this is for recreational. So don't think you're going to be using this information that I'm giving you to defend yourself or think that you're a professional in the terms of acting on self-defense on something, because that's not what we're doing here today. So, rule number 1 of ninjitsu safety, I would have to say, is definitely stretch beforehand. Now, you'll hear this a lot from a lot of people, people who play basketball, baseball, other sports. You have to stretch beforehand, because if you think that you're going to just jump around and do backflips and, you know, jump off of things and do spin kicks and all that, you think you're going to do all that. In turn, you're just going to end up probably hurting yourself in the end. Even if you do it correctly, you're going to stretch yourself too fast. So that is a big problem, definitely. Rule number 2, I would definitely say, would be coming from this. You saw this in the last one. Totally not sponsored by Crystal. Is drink a lot of water, okay? This is within any kind of sports, recreation, anything like that. By drinking water, you're keeping yourself healthy, you're keeping yourself safe. Just because you wear a mask does not mean you don't have the ability to drink water. Yes, it gets your mask wet, but that is a proof of concept. So, also on top of that, whenever it comes to weapons, whether it be sword, broadsword, ninja stars, you know, nunchucks, things like that. Whatever your weapon may be, whatever your choice may be, you have to be understanding and respectful to it, and proficient enough and not be a show-off. Now, there's a video that I'm going to link down below from the Kick Time Kids. Although it may be childish, I'm sure you've probably heard that name before, but Kick Time Kids has a very good explanation on the importance of exercise, feeling better about yourself in karate, and number 1 rule is don't be a show-off and have fun. But don't be a show-off, I think, is a very, very big piece of information that we all have to learn. When you think you can spin these around and look cool and be Bruce Lee from the movies and throwing it behind your head and around and spinning it on your wrist and things like that, you can probably hurt yourself, others break things, hence why another reason why we're outside. We're practicing outside. That's the next rule. And if you have a spotter, if you have the ability of a spotter, or if a friend is offering to watch you and make sure that you're going to be okay and you're going to be in at a certain time, make it clear, take their offer, have somebody watch you, and if they don't know about ninjitsu, or you may want to do it more in secret or something, you're having to make sure that, say to them, tell someone, say, hey, I'm going to be in at a certain time, I'm going to be in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and even if you want to be longer, make sure you go in at that time and say, hey, I'm doing okay, everything's fine. Make yourself clear, make yourself known. That will keep things safe. Now, if you are going to be learning alone with ninjitsu, definitely use practice items. These are not practice. These are actual high-impact LED nunchucks. They're fuchsia. They're very nice. Problem is that they are steel. They have the steel cable and they have the steel ends. So if this hits you, it will hurt. But the problem about that is that So many people think that they can just go straight to that, or, you know, aluminum chucks or trick chucks. The big thing to remember about that situation is not to push yourself straight to it. You can't just pull out a samurai sword and know how to use it, nor should you feel that you need to buy, you know, a long katana with a uh, bloodline and everything on it and be hand forged and all that. You need to learn how to practice first. I practiced with foam nunchucks before going to this, and I'm still not perfect with these. And that leads us to our next thing. Don't expect perfection, but expect proficiency. Know when you're going too much. Know when too little is too little. Now, there's a very fine line here. For example, when it comes to these, you know, just because you hold them and do this is just fine. So many people say, well, that's not practice. That's not going to get you anywhere. You are absolutely right. Now, the thing about nunchucks is that I'm holding them up here. For less control but more speed, you hold them down here. For more control and less speed, you hold them here. And generally some people like hold them here, or, you know, whatever. But the thing is that if you're just doing gentle practices and soft practices, or hey, I'm just going to simply spin it for a little bit, you know, it's, the thing is that if you just spin it just for a little while, it's may feel like you're not making much progress, but you're building strength for that. Go slow and make sure you know when to stop. Don't leave yourself limited to one type. Don't use just one hand. Use both hands and all that. And don't stick too low too long, because then you'll take forever to learn it and you feel you won't get yourself far. Now, that brings us to another topic, is feeling like you're making progress. You're going to want to feel like you've made progress. So keep telling yourself you're making progress, you're doing a good job. Look up, you know, tutorial videos and things. Talk to a professional locally. I can always suggest that. Now, you don't walk into a dojo, like a real dojo, dressed like this. You got to start lower. You got to, you know, respect, you know, the area around you. There's a lot more to it than this. And for my case, it's more of a representation of just fun, silliness, goofiness, and, you know, recreation. So it's important for you guys to remember, whenever you go into a dojo, don't come in and say, hey, I want to learn ninjitsu so I can jump through trees and stuff. You know, that's not it. And even the Kick Times kids say it's about respecting others and those around you. And that is very, very much the truth. So don't go running down the street with nunchucks and samurai swords thinking that you're going to actually make progress. Because in all terms, that's just showing it off. Now, is this a very bright outfit that kind of shows off a bit? Yes. But it's more in a private setting, and I'm also passing the knowledge and information to you guys about how important it is to be safe when it comes to ninjitsu. So that brings us to another quick topic. So when it comes to safety, you have to know your health, okay? If you're feeling sick, if you're feeling hurt, if you hurt your wrist, your leg, I'm not saying completely stop, but know your limitations and know the limitations of others. If other people are sick and need you to take care of them, by all means you need to take care of them. Your other responsibilities need to come first. Ninjitsu is a thing on the side. Now, there are people out there in Japan and things that, you know, do ninjitsu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, basically. But life isn't always that way, and life isn't a video game. It isn't Naruto. It isn't, you know, Jackie Chan. You can't push 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on it. You got to do it on your spare time. Even I caretake my grandmother here at home. In fact, she's inside right now. But the thing is I made sure that she was all okay before coming out here, and I told her I was only going to be a little while. And I'm checking on her at certain points in time to make sure she's okay, and I have ways of communicating with her outside of here. You need to remember these. So don't say I'm going to take off a day of work and then go out and do ninjitsu all day. Your responsibilities, your chores, your cleanliness all matter. They all come first. Do you not smell that well, and have you been kind of neglecting your studies on homework and things of college? Don't put ninjutsu before that. You know, that's general respect toward both ninjutsu and yourself. Um, if you're like, hey, I'm really, really hungry, but I just got to keep practicing, I got to keep pushing. Well, you need to feed yourself, you need to feed your body. And if you're going, hey, I'm super depressed, I'm really upset, ninjutsu may not be the thing to do at that very moment. And if you're angry, it absolutely is not. Now that is very important. If you have an anger problem, or if you're very angry and upset, I would not recommend doing ninjutsu at all until you're fully calmed down. Um, Sometimes, if you're angry or upset or you're depressed or something, meditation may be a way to relax. It's not a fix-all, but in that form of ninjutsu, I guess that would be okay. But don't say, I'm so angry, I'm going to go beat stuff up with nunchucks and whatever. That's not what it is. That's not what it is about. Now, when it comes to weapons and self-control and things like that, it's important that you don't let your emotions push you. Instead, let your brain push you. If you let your emotions push you, you may hurt yourself or you may hurt others. And that's not going to be good. And it's definitely not going to look good to the hospital bill and thing that's going to arrive saying, oh, he was working with ninjutsu on things and he turned the sword the wrong direction because he was upset. That's not what I'm saying here. But the thing is, I need you guys to remember that ninjutsu, it's important to focus on safety and don't let your emotions push you. If you're feeling like you're having a bad day and if you're feeling rough, don't turn straight to ninjutsu to solve everything. And especially if it involves weapons, then by all means, you would not be fit to do it. So what could you do if you're really feeling like ninjutsu, but you're just having an off day and things just don't work? Maybe make a video, think about it, improve on what you got, enjoy nature, meditate. There's different things you could do in that regard, but as soon as a weapon is picked up, it's a whole different ballgame. Now, the thing about weapons you have to know is these, especially these, are unpredictable. Know the predictability of the weapons. Don't just watch a video and say, oh, I know how to do it now. Definitely know the weight, the type, why you bought it, and your reasons for picking it up. What is the reasons? Do you want to improve on yourself? Do you want to improve on what you've learned? Do you want to have the respect of the weapon? Or are you just saying it because, oh yeah, if someone breaks in, then I'd be ready? No, then that's the same thing as owning a gun. You wouldn't want that. Some people are feeling like they're safe with ninja weapons and things. I'm not saying keep a bunch of ninja stars by your door, but in the event of safety, then you should always count on your getting out, okay, walking away, telling the person to stop, that sort of thing. But don't focus your ninja weapons on active self-defense. Instead, have your ninja weapons put aside, and if you need active defense, have other things like pepper spray or other methods. So now when it comes to our final closing, I definitely want to mention the importance of nature. You'll probably hear this from Fitness Shinobi a lot too. When it comes to nature, it is just such a beautiful thing. Being out in the trees, being out watching the birds, being out and taking care of business out in nature in the degree of like gardening, or if you're doing the lawn or things, or making sure that your yard looks nice. I mean, it can really be truly healing. And this is a bit out of zone, but over in this area, in the opposite direction of this camera, we actually have a very big garden that I started to make. I would always recommend gardening and maybe some herbal practice, some herbal teas, stuff to help the body, whether it be like aloe and things. I would always suggest that. That is just as healing, and it's out in nature. You don't have to have a huge backyard for it, and just enjoying spices and taking care of nature and flowers and things, it can be very healing in the ninjutsu sense. So remember, let's go over this one more time. Remember, you definitely need to remain calm whenever you're using weapons or things. You have to remember to have other reasons of self-defense, not just grabbing for your ninja weapons. You have to make sure you're not a show-off. Don't be spinning it around your head and doing backflips saying, hey friends, watch this, start a YouTube video so I can be a laughingstock for 3 years. You have to also remember to enjoy nature and keep yourself calm. And if you have a spotter, if you need a spotter, get one, find one. If you have the chance of seeing a professional on ninjutsu or karate or taekwondo, absolutely take it. It is 100% worth it. And by all means, absolutely have fun. So remember, you guys have the chance, you guys have the ability, you guys have the knowledge, you know how to make your day better. So go out, go get them, and by all means, be safe doing so. Have a good night.